Israeli settlers from a nearby illegal outpost drive slowly past this Palestinian home. Their presence is a constant and fills local residents with dread. The family rushes from their fields to the courtyard of their summer house.
They come every day, threatening and intimidating us. What kind of life is this? We need someone to protect us. We need protection. There is no one to protect us but God.
Their house sits on the outskirts of the town of Sinjil in the occupied West Bank. Settlers regularly attack the town and the outskirts bear the brunt of it, and it has become worse. Settlers established this illegal outpost only recently, one of the many in the West Bank. To deal with the threat, people here have created social media groups to warn others in real time, says Baha Fukaha from the Municipal Council.
I film and document. When there's any attack, I let the guys know. I send a message to all the groups in Sinjil, to the young people, that there is a settler here.
Once it gets dark, Palestinian neighborhood watchers jump into action. Unarmed volunteers stand guard at the edges of the town.
So this is the reality here in the occupied West Bank. These people behind me are protecting their town from settler attacks. There's no one else to do it.
Guys, we are here at the spot. There is suspicious movement by settlers. If you are able to come quickly, come.
Reports come in of a possible intrusion by a few settlers from the other side of the hill. Some volunteers spread out in the dark. They say it is dangerous as most settlers are armed.
We read via the chat groups that there were some settlers in between the houses. So the folks from the protection committees rushed out to protect those houses.
Palestinian police are not allowed to operate here unless coordinated with the Israeli military. The town lies in so-called areas B and C, which are under shared or full control of the Israeli military. Videos provided by the volunteers show some of the settler attacks in the area in recent weeks. This volunteer tells us they are the Palestinians' last defense. The Israeli police and army side with the settlers, allowing them to act with no accountability.
The village lives in fear. They've surrounded it with fences, earth mounds and iron gates. No one supports us or asks about us. If we don't stand up for this village and protect it, no one will. In the absence of security, security becomes everyone's responsibility.
These volunteers know they can do little against an armed settler attack, but their presence still matters to the people here, and sometimes that's enough.
For more on this, let's bring in Aviv Tatarsky. He's a researcher at the Amim organization. That's a human rights NGO in Jerusalem. Hello, sir. Welcome to DW News. Now, in our report we just saw, residents say they are organizing night watches because no one else is protecting them. How common is this in the West Bank?
What is a daily occurrence are very violent raids by Israeli civilians or soldiers against Palestinian communities. And these communities are indeed defenseless. The Israeli army is not doing its responsibility to protect the occupied population, on the contrary. And therefore, communities have to organize and to protect themselves. But of course, the Israeli regime does not consider this as self-defense.
Right. Why is no one protecting Palestinians against settler attacks?
Well, first and foremost, the so-called settler violence is an arm of the Israeli state. Israel, certainly this government, but not only this one, is determined to annex the occupied Palestinian territories, but it is not willing to tolerate the presence of a large Palestinian population. We see what this has led to in the Gaza Strip. And the West Bank is also targeted, and the settler violence is one of the mechanisms for Israel to ethnically cleanse the West Bank.
How dangerous is it when unarmed residents face armed settlers?
It is as dangerous as you can imagine, and often these raids end with Palestinians being shot dead. Other cases are that people are just injured or their property is torched, is stolen. And the Palestinians have to show an immense amount of restraint in order to keep themselves safe, because even when attacked, if they dare protect themselves, they may be shot at, or if they manage to ward off the settlers, then the Israeli army will come with all its power, all its might against the community.
Right, I was about to ask you about that when Palestinians report settler attacks, what usually happens next? Is there no genuine attempt to listen and try to sort things out?
No, unfortunately, there is no law as far as Israelis are concerned. There is no law enforcement in the occupied Palestinian territories. The police will very easily refuse to accept complaints, or if it does accept them, usually nothing will be done. Many times, filing a complaint will put a Palestinian at risk that he would be arrested himself, abused by either Israeli police or Israeli soldiers. And the whole system is involved in it. So the Israeli politicians are actually, that's their policy that the army and the police are carrying out. And the Israeli courts do not offer any justice. The situation for 3 million Palestinians in the West Bank is the most dangerous that it has ever been since 1967.
I mean, what you're describing is an illegal situation on the ground, and even the court system inside Israel is not trying to deal with the situation. I mean, what does this really tell us?
Well, you know, Israel is perceived by the international community as a democratic state, as a state that is sharing the values of Western liberal democracies. The reality on the ground is very, very different. And I'm speaking as an Israeli citizen, a Jewish Israeli citizen, also an Israeli activist in the West Bank. I witness the violent attacks. I witnessed them up close. The attempt to provide protection, to get the police or the army to intervene, to go to the courts. These are all things that I also have some direct familiarity with. And of course, this is not a democratic regime. This is a regime that we can call certainly an apartheid regime, because there is one law for Israelis and a very different law for Palestinians. But right now, it is even worse than that. The Israeli state is determined to ethnically cleanse the West Bank.
Right. So moving forward, what can we expect to be done? I mean, what realistically can be done in the near future to protect Palestinians in the West Bank?
I think for the international community, two things have to be clear. One is that what is happening is not a mistake. It's not temporary. This is a top priority goal for the Israeli regime. It will not stop of itself. The other is that it is the responsibility of the international community to protect Palestinian lives, the Palestinian people in the West Bank, and to force Israel to stop. And of course, Israel is dependent on Western support, be it all the economic activity with the EU, be it all kinds of benefits that Israel and the Israeli economy and the Israeli military enjoy through cooperation, certainly of the European Union, also the United States. So the international community, if it does want to do the right thing and the legal thing, certainly has the mechanisms to force Israel to stop.
So why do you think they're not doing that?
This is maybe for someone who understands about EU policy to say, but I can say that as an Israeli citizen, that for many, many years I've been devoting myself to peace, to ending the occupation, to protecting Palestinian human rights. I can say as an Israeli, Israeli society is not able to stop it. Most of it is not willing to stop it. And we, certainly Palestinians, need very much international intervention as soon and as serious as possible.
Aviv Tatarsky from the NGO Amim. Thank you.
Thank you very much.